Hello, today I started learning how to make chiptunes music because there are some upcoming game jams which have the kinda retro style theme, and I want to take part in those and make some appropriate music. I started learning from a tutorial on YouTube. I will share the link in the description later. It's of a very cool guy. And the first thing that I learned is about this instrument, which is a plugin. It's kind of a synth. It's called Magical 8-bit, and it is a very simple synth with many limitations. Like you just have pulse triangle and noise waves. You have just simple envelope, a very simple pitch envelope, which is called auto band here. I think it's a pitch envelope. The reason why it is so limited is because back in the days you didn't have so many options to do things, and in order to achieve a more authentic sound you have to stick to those limitations. Like for example, here I only have 5 tracks because you could only have 5 channels at some point, and so you had to deal with what you had. The first track here is kind of a percussion. It's actually made of snare and hi-hats. They are both in the same track for limited amount of space reasons, and you can see they just have noise and very short decay and low sustain. The MIDI part looks like this. There is the high notes here, they are for the hi-hats, while the lower notes here are for the snare. If I take off the snare, or if I take out the hi-hats, these longer notes here are intended to be the open hats. Of course, if you make them shorter, you lose the kind of feeling. Of course, we're not aiming for realistic sounds, but we are aiming for the feeling of the real instruments. Like they should sound like something you are kind of familiar with. Next, we have the kick. I made it on a separate track. I probably should have done it on the same track, but I wanted to try something different here. In fact, I applied the auto band. That's not the one. I applied the auto band. It goes down in pitch after kicking in, and I just wanted to try that. Maybe it's not worth it, but it does sound different if you take away the auto band. It's less of a kick. Then we have the melody, a very simple melody line. It looks like this. It's mostly monophonic, but they double some notes. I don't know on which system you are allowed to have polyphonic melodies, but here I wanted to try, so I did that. And this is how the plugin looks like. Just a pulse wave, a smoother envelope, no auto pitch, and that's it. And one cool thing I learned about melody is that you can have a delay on them, but you have to make it with your own hands. You cannot have send channels, return channels, but you have to make a separate track. And here it looks like this, and you can hear it now. I made a copy of the previous melody, and where I wanted to put the delay, I just moved the notes forward and changed the pitch, the envelope a bit. Finally, we have the bass. It's a very simple bass line. In this case, I used the triangle wave, which as far as I understand is more commonly used for bass sound. Not much to say here, and this is how it sounds in the mix. So I learned a lot here. Those limitations are very cool. I hope they can trigger some new ideas, and that was a lot of fun.